You got to kick it off with a killer to grab attention. Then you got to take it up a notch.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
Who are you?
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Cells. Interlinked.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Hi, baby boy. Talking to the fishies? You and me, son, we're different. We're special. We're connected to the land and the sea. I can't wait to introduce you to all the majestic creatures on our planet and show you how awesome this world can be. Yeah, you and me.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman. Even if I have to make a deal with the devil to do it.
Free me from my prison, and all my power will be yours.
The key to this prison is the royal bloodline itself.
He needs us. We're the end of the bloodline.
No, we're not.
Manta took Junior.
He must be stopped.
I'm coming for you.
We'll destroy everything he holds dear.
You want blood? Come get it!
Folks, welcome to Debaser, a film podcast. I'm Jared Rusk, and I'm joined by my co-host, Will.
How are the wife and kids?
Can't wait. I can't wait to find out. Okay, on this show, we explore both new and familiar movies as we attempt to analyze and interpret them, all in an effort to debase the films and ourselves. And I am racing because I did not see today's film. Will has seen today's film. So I am here to find out everything. So very quickly, today's film is called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, aka Aquaman 2. It was released 2023. Now, you are hearing this in the first week of January.
That's right.
But we are recording this a day after the film released.
This is correct.
It is not available on streaming because it is currently in theaters still.
Yeah.
So if you want to see it, go see it in theaters.
And I don't think it's going to end up on HBO or Max or whatever the fuck it's called anytime soon. Because I think this movie's actually going to make money.
Yeah. So they'll probably keep it in theaters for about a month or so. Yeah. It stars Jason Momoa, obviously. Patrick Wilson, again, obviously. And please correct me if I butcher his name. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
I believe that is how you pronounce his name.
Apologies to that man if I mispronounced his name.
I've actually had a hard time with it myself because I've never heard anybody else say it.
Right.
But I love him. I think he's an excellent actor because he was in Candyman. He was in an episode of Black Mirror. Mm-hmm. He's obviously Black Manta, and he's fucking great as Black Manta.
Right.
Yeah.
The synopsis of this film is Aquaman balances his duties as king and as a member of the Justice League, all while planning a wedding. Black Manta is on the hunt for Atlantean tech to help rebuild his armor. Orm plots to escape his Atlantean prison. Oh, that's Patrick Wilson's character, right?
Yeah.
The film is directed by
Okay,
James...
hold on. I have to stop you there.
Yes.
That synopsis is awful.
Well, I didn't write it. That's the official synopsis for the film.
Dude, that synopsis must have come out before the rewrites.
Oh, no shit.
Almost none of that is
really.
Yeah, almost none of that is what happens in the movie.
That's funny.
All right, keep going.
Yeah. The film is directed by James Wan, and the writing is credited to David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, James Wan, and Jason Momoa.
Yes, Jason Momoa does have a hand in this.
That's wild to me.
Yeah, he heavily invested in the character.
Did he work on is he credited as the writer on the first one at all?
No, he's not.
That's what I thought. James Wan is known for the original Saw movie.
I love that movie.
The Conjuring and the Insidious movies.
Don't care for those.
Malignant.
Hilarious.
I love that movie. Which his wife wrote too.
Yeah.
Furious 7, which is a very good Fast and the Furious movie.
Is it? I haven't seen it.
My favorite's 5, but 7 is very close. And he also made the previous Aquaman movie.
Yes.
David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. Say that 10 times fast.
That's a lot.
His credits include The Walking Dead, many, many episodes. I forget how many. And both of the Orphan films.
Okay.
Yeah. Which actually I think people like. I've not seen them.
I've seen the first one.
I hear the second one is leans into the first one being so tongue in cheek because it's clearly like a 30 or 40-year-old woman like playing this like little girl.
Yeah.
And like she's clearly just on her knees in all the scenes.
Amazing.
I guess the sequel really leans in on that stuff. In like a Megan kind of way, I think, where it's like kind of cheesy. Yeah. Aquaman 2 currently holds a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It might be a little higher now, but that's
Yeah,
what it was as of press time.
Don't particularly agree with that. I fucking love.
Well, it's a DC movie. They get
sure.
What did Aquaman 1 get? Could you pull that up really fast for me?
I'll pull that while you do the thing.
Yeah.
Yes. 1 second.
So, reviewing the film for CNN, film critic Brian Lowry writes, lacking the sense of discovery and world building that powered the original, director James Wan settles for a sort of misguided buddy comedy. Whatever the intent, this doesn't feel like the answer to lift superhero movies out of their slump.
Aquaman 1 had a 66% critic score and 72% audience score.
That's pretty low. I think the 72% is more apt, actually.
Yeah.
And, audience review scores on DC movies are kind of skewed because there's like that whole backlash thing. But
Once again,
I think a 72 is more apt, actually.
It's the Zack Snyder effect.
It's a little bit of that lingering because he does kind of have a hand in it. Like he's probably a producer on it.
Yeah.
But like also just critics are just really sick of superhero movies.
No, I get it.
And I get it too. Absolutely.
It's fine.
Yeah.
This was,
but I thought the first one was like a decent time.
I skipped a lot of superhero movies this year, but I was excited for this one.
Right.
Because I fucking love the first one.
On Letterboxd, user Saint said, Patrick Wilson can put a cockroach in my burger and I wouldn't care. 2 stars. And user Regal wrote, I forgot to root against Black Manta. 5 stars. I thought you would like that one.
Yeah, dude. I fucking love Black Manta. He's so cool.
Okay, really fast. I'm going to run through some trivia.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, many rumors swirled during production of this film that Michael Keaton was going to star as Batman.
This is right.
In a like small scene, I think.
Yeah.
He was originally intended to appear in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it was intended to replicate the appearances of like Nick Fury in the Marvel films.
Yeah.
However, Keaton was able to film the scene due to scheduling conflicts, and Ben Affleck was later cast and filmed some scenes.
Yep.
However, they were cut from the film entirely because this movie was delayed so long after The Flash, and it was going to tie into scenes with The Flash.
Yeah.
So very, very quickly does Batman show up at all in the Aquaman 2. That's what I figured.
You know what's funny is I had that conversation with Haley on the way back. Yeah. And you know what's funny is I thought that the Keaton thing, he was cut because they test screened it and Zoomers were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" That's what I read.
They filmed it with Ben Affleck.
Gotcha. I heard that they got rid of Keaton and put Affleck in there because younger people were like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
Because the Batgirl movie obviously clearly didn't come out. The Flash had yet to come out.
Tragedy too.
I know, it is a tragedy.
Even if it's bad, just put it out. Just
it out.
let us see it.
And then
fuck's sake.
Flash also had not come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So these younger people who may not have seen the
they fucking put the Flash out, which stars a fucking criminal, and they won't put out Batgirl.
Yeah,
an underrepresented superhero who's never had her own movie. That's fucking bullshit. Sorry.
That's okay. No, dude, it's all right. That's what we have this show for.
Resign David Zaslav.
Oh yeah, Zaslav
fucking
needs to go.
Piece of shit.
Yeah,
keeps hiding movies.
He sucks so much.
Anyway, Aquaman 2 had a very long and troubled production history, much of which has not been revealed yet. It's not public knowledge yet.
It's not. It's going to be the same thing as Rogue One.
We're going to find out there were a million recuts and reshoots. I'm sure. Man, the coffee's really kicking in. I love morning records.
You're fucking going.
I'm on cup 2, and I'm like, I'm so excited that we're doing a morning record finally because I'm like, I'm going to be so much more jazzed. What we do know is it took over 5 years from the premiere of the original film for this second film to release. While the pandemic clearly had an effect on the film's production, as it did for many other films, so too did the controversial trial of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Yes,
as Amber Heard co-stars in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman 2's original premiere date was in December of 2022, but it was moved several times before finally landing on December 2023 for reasons that are unclear.
I was really bummed out about that too because I remember
stuff you get excited for it constantly gets delayed by like a year,
especially because like when it comes in December, because I'm this is when my birthday is.
That's right.
So I get excited because I take a lot of self-care around my birthday because I have an excuse to.
Yeah,
and this movie was supposed to drop on the 20th. I was supposed to see this on my birthday.
Yeah.
Space Marine was supposed to come out this month, and it's pushed back to fucking September.
Sorry.
Fuck.
Okay, so similarly, Matt Reeves is the Batman.
Yeah.
Dropped the day before my birthday last year.
Oh yeah.
Was it this year? What is time? I think it was last year.
Yeah,
because my wife wasn't pregnant yet. Yeah, it was last year. And we saw it on my birthday because it was like literally like that same week. And I was like, this is so fortuitous. I love this. I was so happy. And the movie was so good. And I remember like slapping my knees being so happy when the Batmobile revs up and just looking at my wife and being like, this was such a great birthday present from the universe to me. I was like, yeah, that movie's way too long. I don't care. It was so good. And like, even when I watch it at home, I have to like watch it in parts because it's so long, but it's so good.
It's really good. I quite enjoyed it.
Oh, I love that movie so much. Also, about the production history of Aquaman 2. Also, the DC Film Universe, or DCU, or DCEU, DC Extended Universe, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. It has undergone a complete restructuring since this film was even made.
That's correct.
And James Gunn has now been put in charge of the DCU, or whatever you want to call it, all the DC films. So that makes Aquaman 2 the last of the line of the original DCU films, or the Snyderverse, if you will.
Yeah, this is the last
which
Snyderverse.
Technically is a Snyderverse film because Jason Momoa was his Aquaman and was cast in Justice League, I think was his first one.
Justice League.
Right. Or the trilogy of films by Zack Snyder, which include...
Actually, hold on. He did make a very, very tiny appearance in Batman v Superman.
I was wondering, because I always confuse those two, because that one's basically Baby Justice League.
Yeah, it's Baby Justice League.
Because almost everybody shows up in it too, right?
Yeah, but barely.
But like for a split second.
Small...
Because he loves to be like teasing the next movie or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Because so the original Snyderverse movies began with Superman Man of Steel.
Yes.
Then Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Fucking stupid. And then Justice League.
Yeah.
Now, Will, in 5 sentences, I will let you pontificate later.
Sure.
But in 5 sentences, can you give me a rundown of the plot?
Yeah. Okay, 5 sentences. Aquaman is a dad.
Okay.
He has to balance being king and of the sea while also being a denizen of the land.
Okay.
Black Manta is still hellbent on revenge and gets his hand on a relic, and he's being evil.
Okay.
Because he's being evil, Aquaman has to break out his brother Orm to track down Black Manta because Orm worked with Black Manta.
Right.
Orm and Aquaman learn to be loving brothers, and they team up to stop Black Manta's scheme of accelerating global warming.
Oh my god!
And that's almost the entire film.
Yeah,
I would need one more sentence to tie it in.
Okay, Will.
Okay.
Per my goading, I was going to say recommendation, but honestly, I goaded you into this. You saw this film in 4DX.
I did.
This was your first 4DX experience.
This is my first 4DX
and you haven't said a word to me so far.
Because you wouldn't let me.
Because I wanted to save it for the pod.
Okay, so hold on.
How was it?
I want to recap the goading, quote unquote. No, it was a suggestion.
It was I didn't have to try too hard.
No, you didn't. No. Jared's like, hey man,
I did it while we were recording, but I ended up cutting it from the episode because we were just like goofing off at the end there. Yeah.
You were like, hey man, you should go see Aquaman in 4DX and tell Haley, I want Aquaman to make me wet.
No, it was like, I want to get wet with Aquaman
or something. Yeah, it was something like that. And I was like, oh, that is the fucking perfect tagline. Let's fucking do it. So the very next day, I tell...
that's for people listening that don't know, that's because when you see a movie in 4DX, it sprays you with water.
It blasts you with water. And it fucking did. And so, we wake up. I was like, hey, Haley, because I want to see Aquaman. Could we go see it in 4DX? I think it'd be really funny to do that.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, sure. It's for your birthday, whatever.
Yeah.
$50 fucking for 2 people with highway robbery.
Oh, I know.
But anyways, I get the tickets. Jared, there's a whole host of stories just getting to the fucking theater.
Oh, no.
So we almost missed the time.
It is, to be clear for everyone listening, it is like an hour drive from either of our residences to the nearest 4DX theater.
Plus traffic. It was like an hour and 20 minutes.
That's the thing. If you go at a bad... Oh, you went on a Thursday night.
No, Friday night.
Oh my God, even worse.
Because it was yesterday and it was a 7:00 showing.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, it gets funnier.
Oh,
so
no.
we get to the theater right at 7:00. I have the person, scan the ticket and they're like, I'm so sorry. This was for yesterday.
No.
I bought the tickets for Thursday night.
Oh no.
For 7:00 Thursday night. And I didn't realize it because I was like, okay, there's no reason why they would give me a day that the movie isn't showing because the movie says December 22nd. So I just assumed it was the 22nd. Thankfully, the very nice manager at the theater gave me new tickets, unfortunately at 9:20 instead. And I did not get the primo seats that I had gotten because there was literally nobody seeing that shit on fucking Thursday night.
Yeah.
Especially not 4DX.
Yeah.
But it was all resolved. It was very nice. And it gave me and my wife time to like sit down, get dinner. We went to an arcade.
It's a nice area. There's plenty to do there at least. Yeah.
So we filled the time, but we ended up going into the theater about 40 minutes before the
I thought so because you did text me something about like when you were going into it. And it was like 2 hours after I thought your showtime was. And I was like, well, that's weird. But I didn't want to like, A, I didn't want to interrogate it and bother you. And B, I didn't want to get spoiled on what you were going to tell me.
Right. I did take a picture of because you
the
did
water console.
Yeah, you did tell me that like you can turn off whether or not the water sprays you and it says water on, water off. And I took a picture and I said, water stays on during Aquaman 2.
Damn right.
And so me and my wife are sitting there and we're talking. I'm like, man, I can't wait for like the trailers to start because as you said, the fucking seats start going on for the trailers.
And it's a little, honestly, if you haven't heard the Avatar 2 Way of Water episode where I like thoroughly detailed my 4DX experience with that, the trailers can be a little intense because you're getting like the full assault with like very little rest.
Yeah, it does not tell you at all.
Because of the way trailers are cut by their nature, you know?
So I will say the chairs didn't work during the trailers.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't going at all. But
maybe that's because enough people complained that as they're going to their seats and getting situated, they are getting tossed around because I would always see that.
I could feel the chair wanting to move when a trailer started, but then it wouldn't. You could feel like a little bit of a little jerk. But the thing that they did play to get you acquainted with how the chairs work, which is like people on a motorcycle, like they're like spy people or whatever. That was enough to where I turned to my wife and was like, "Oh, this is gonna fucking rule."
Was it like a demo reel where
it
it's
was
like,
a demo reel.
here's your 4DX experience test or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And like when the people hit a wall on their back, you could feel like a bar hit your lower back. And like, oh,
it like punches you in the back of the seat. Because I remember when we saw The Matrix and Agent Smith is beating the shit out of Neo.
Yeah,
the seat starts assaulting you, and I turned to my wife and was like, "Oh my god, Agent Smith's killing us."
Jared, not only did Aquaman get my pussy wet, but he also beat the shit out of me. I did not know that Aquaman was going to be a rough lover, and I loved it. Like, dude,
yeah, this 4DX is not like if you are like frail or like easily bruised or something, like maybe 4DX isn't for you.
My left shoulder still hurts.
I've heard people that saw like Godzilla in theaters and 4DX were like, I didn't need to be assaulted during this movie.
Well, what's funny is like, so right before the movie like started, while me and Haley were sitting there, I was like, this is going to be fucking awesome. And she was like, oh, man, I really wanted to see Godzilla. Like, I was like, oh, I can't imagine seeing Godzilla. And this was like, man, I really wanted to see Godzilla.
Same.
After that, fuck no. Absolutely not. Godzilla would have fucking killed me.
We'll get to this later.
Yeah, because we're
in a different episode.
Godzilla,
but like, I already almost died in that theater for like emotional reasons, but I can't imagine seeing it in 4DX and wanting to die for physical reasons too.
I know, dude. I can't imagine like when he does the atomic breath for the first time.
Exactly.
Like my ears would be shattered and my body would be broken. Like I cannot imagine what it would have been like.
The seat would fry us maybe and give us some nuclear radiation poisoning.
Just jostles the fuck out of you and throws you out. Yeah.
Or like every time the ship probably bounced. Anyway, I'm sorry. We shouldn't talk about that movie yet.
But like, so the movie opens up with Aquaman. Like, dude, you get exactly what you're gonna get for the rest of the movie in the first 5 minutes of the film, right? So like, Aquaman's like, hey guys, I know it's been a while since we've been together, but this is what happened. I had a baby. Yeah, I'm a fucking dad now. This is the hardest challenge I've ever had. When I'm not doing dad duties, I'm dealing with assholes on the council. They don't want me to do stuff, but fuck them, I do it anyways. There's pirates on the ship, I beat their asses. And like, there's a part where he's about to go fight some pirates that are trying to, steal shit off of a ship. And right before they clash, it's him telling the story to his kid. And he's got an Aquaman toy and like some random dude, and he's like smashing them together. Like, I can fucking relate to this.
That's great.
But as he's doing it, like it'll cut to him actually kicking people's asses. And Jared, holy fuck. my back broken, my shoulders assaulted, my head jostled, my face sprayed with cum. It was fucking ridiculous, dude.
Did they do the thing where there's like pressured air coming up behind your head? That's my least. That's the one part I would turn off,
dude. Anytime there was a laser. Oh, can you turn that off?
No, I wish you could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There were so much lasers in this movie, and every single time a laser went off, it would go on the back of my head. And at one point, like I can't sit straight up in a film, forever. So like I would like lean my head over to the side and get fucking pressurized air in the back of my head, and it would like be wet after a minute. It's like, God damn it. Every single time there was a fight, and there was a lot of fights in this film, I would turn to Haley and be like, oh my God, this is fucking extreme. But I will say the second time that Aquaman fights Black Manta, it's Aquaman and Orm fighting against Black Manta. And this was a non-CGI fight. It is actually people doing stunt work.
Right.
Whomever is in that suit, that Black Manta suit, needs to be paid all of the fucking money.
Yeah.
There's nothing that gives me chills quite like well choreographed fight scenes.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Right. And I think the reason why I loved the first film so much is because there's a part where Black Manta kicks his, he dropped his sword. He kicks the sword off the fucking ground and like does like, a flourish with it, and then goes in on Aquaman or Jason Momoa or whatever. And like, he's like swinging at him, and he's like flipping the blade in the middle of a fight wearing that giant fucking helmet. And it's all practical effects. And it's just like, they're doing it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the guy being able to see out of that thing.
Is the helmet? Is he actually wearing the helmet in the fight?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, maybe they give like the stunt actor like a little mask so that they can drop it in post.
Maybe that's
so that
the
he
case.
can fight without it.
But like it's so like it's.
But
so
the fight
clean.
itself is practical.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that is the case.
And that makes all the fucking difference. That's why that's the weakest part of Black Panther. Because the ending is just like a bunch of CGI goop fight, and it's like, well, who cares? This movie was so good. Why ruin it with that end?
Hated that.
Yeah,
because I know Ryan Coogler can shoot a good fight scene. Creed 1.
Yes,
he is so good at fucking capturing people fighting in an interesting way. I cannot believe they did a CGI fight for the end of that movie.
I wonder if that was Marvel's doing.
Yes,
they were
it was.
They were like, let us do like a CGI house fight. Maybe he had something in mind, or he like was so busy with other stuff in the movie that he couldn't, extend himself. And had to let like the second unit take over and just do that stupid end.
I fucking hated
where
that.
It's all stunt actors and CGI probably. And it's whatever. I digress.
Well,
Sorry.
Anyways, so he's fighting against Orm and Aquaman. He's got this trident that's broken.
Yeah.
He can connect it together, to make it into full one. But he's using it as daggers essentially, which he usually fights with like short swords or daggers. Even in the comic books, it's usually like he's paired fighting. So he's like constantly going in on you.
Almost like stilettos almost.
Yeah, almost.
Okay,
yeah. So I can't even describe it. Like he's spinning the fucking trident. He's beating both their asses. There's a part where he like punches Orm in the face, like, going to the left. And then he's using the momentum and his jetpack to carry him into the air to kick Aquaman in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Jared, that whole fight sequence, I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I turned to Haley, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking nut. Like, this is the best. And I'm like, I'm audibly saying this. I can't control myself in the theater. So I don't like the people behind me definitely heard me say like, this is going to get me off. But while this is happening,
oh no, it's pretty loud in a 40X theater.
Yeah,
they may not have,
but like the chair is like fucking shaking and shit. And like every
it's
hit
visceral,
is like,
isn't it? Yeah.
Super, like, oh my God.
So did it actually contribute to the experience?
Yes.
That's what okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to, because I'm like, even if it's like a C movie, I think if it's the right kind of like, action blockbuster kind of thing, the 40X experience will make it a B movie, essentially. Like bump it up a tier, because I'm like, yes, like it's a big, spectacular kind of movie.
Yeah.
That's what 40X is for, because I truly think it made Avatar so much better for me personally.
Yeah.
And that movie is made for the spectacle anyway. Like it's honestly, the Avatar movies are good.
Yeah.
Like they are legitimately good.
Yeah.
And like, people love to be like, oh, they're forgettable, blah, blah, blah. Why do they make so much money? I'm like, because they're good.
Yeah,
but like, they're not like Star Wars where they take all the air out of the room. We can just see them, be like, that's a great movie. I'll see another one in 5-10 years and then move on.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's like because after the movie was over, right?
Yeah.
Haley was like, "Yeah, that was fun. I couldn't do this for a movie that I care about."
Fair.
You know,
I understand.
And I was like, "Yeah, this whole format was made for shit like this."
Yes, 100%. I completely agree.
God, it was so much fun, dude.
Yeah, because I agree. What we were saying earlier was like it would be bad for Godzilla -1.
Yeah,
yeah, it would be too much. However, I have heard that if it's your second or third viewing of a movie that you like, 4DX might be a fun experience. And now I saw The Matrix in 4DX, and it was like my, I don't know, 50th viewing of that movie.
Right.
So it wasn't distracting at all. I
Yeah.
knew exactly what was going to happen, but what was fascinating was seeing the different effects that they had planned for the film to match up in the theater, which we got a lot of rain because it rained so much in that movie. So we got splattered with rain constantly. There's like so much lightning and strobe effects. Like I said, Agent Smith beat the shit out of us in the seat, you know, like really, really fascinating stuff. One of my favorite things about Avatar was every time they're flying on what are those things called? Yeah.
Ekron.
The seats are constantly like just
listing.
Yeah. And even when they're swimming too, it does the same thing. And I could just like see the guy sitting in the hydraulic seat with a joystick, like programming it and being like, we're going to move here and move like this. And you're just like, oh man, this really, it like really adds to the experience in like a dumb theme parky kind of way.
Yeah,
it is not like,
but
I wonder if like Roger Ebert would be like disgusted by this kind of thing. Or
it would kill him.
He can be a populist in some ways, and I can see him being like, you know what, this has its place for people that want to just have like a big dumb fun time at the movies. You know what I mean? Because he could sometimes give a movie a thumbs up where you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know,
man.
I'm so glad you had a good time.
Dude, it was fucking awesome. Like, this is almost as good of a recommendation as fucking Martyrs. Like, straight the fuck up, dude.
Wow, that's high praise.
I had a great. I loved this movie.
Was it a good like birthday present to yourself?
Yes,
Kind of.
It was fucking
great.
awesome. I had so much fun. It was. Dude, it was total whiplash from fucking Rebel Moon because I had finished it that morning.
You see a really god awful movie.
Yeah, I finished it that morning, and then like I did a bunch of chores around the house, and I was like, "Man, Aquaman better not fucking suck." Like, I'm going to be so mad if this movie sucked, and it fucking ruled. It was so good.
I'm glad you got your tickets refunded too.
Yeah,
but now having experienced it, would you pay $50 for you and your wife to go see another 4DX movie?
So it has to, like, me and Haley actually discussed this. So we were watching the trailers, and Dune 2 came up, and I was actually going to ask you, do you, me and you, want to go see Dune 2 in 4DX? Would that be something? Would that be too distracting? Because there are fight scenes, but the fight scenes in those movies aren't fight scenes. They're like they're more than that. You know.
I'm really torn on that.
Right. So you think that over, but like I could, the next movie that is coming out that I could only even imagine would be interesting to see is Godzilla X Kong. Because I already know I'm going to hate that.
Oh, that's 1000% a movie meant for 4DX.
I know. I'm going to hate
the legendaries Godzilla movies.
Yes, I'm going to hate that movie because it has a lot of King Kong in it. But 4DX might actually bump it up.
I wouldn't mind Kong even beating the fuck out of my seat. You know, that'll make the movie better. Like when we rented out that theater for Godzilla v Kong. What is the name of that one technically?
It's Godzilla versus King Kong.
Versus King Kong, because we were only a year into the pandemic and theaters were just reopening. Yeah, and so like my wife and I like rented out a theater for just like some friends of ours to go see it. Yeah, and but yeah, 4DX would have been better for that.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't know if that was even an option at the time.
So actually, you know, you mentioned like, hey, if this is like your third or fourth viewing of the film, 4DX might be for you. You have to catch the movie like when it's out, because like I feel like 4DX here only runs for a week.
Right, because we don't live in like a major 4DX market, which I imagine maybe like Los Angeles and New York, like major metropolitan areas. I don't know. Orlando is pretty major, but
you'd think, right?
Yeah. But yeah, the movies only stay in there for like a week at best, maybe 3 days, because I think already they're all Wonka and Aquaman right now, right?
I guess. I don't know.
And then by the time this is out, Aquaman might not even be in 4DX, because it's almost always whatever movie is premiering that week.
Yeah.
You know, if it has a 4DX format. And surprisingly, a lot of them do, and I'll see them and just be like, "Why the fuck would you see that in 4DX?"
Yeah, Willy Wonka in 4DX, I can't imagine.
No, thank you.
It'd probably smell really good.
I'm dismissive of that movie, but I should stop being dismissive of it because apparently it's good.
Yeah.
And not that I doubt Timothée Chalamet. I think he's great. Dune totally turned me around on him.
He's a good actor.
But Wonka is by the director of the Paddington movies.
Yes.
So I guess I never should have doubted it. When I learned of that movie, I was like, why does this exist? We don't need a Wonka prequel. Are we fucking, come on. We have nothing better to do. But apparently it's good. So I'll probably see it and be like, oh, okay, I shouldn't have, been dismissive of this movie.
Yeah. One last thing about 4DX.
Yes.
I think it's good if somebody knows what they're in for, because as we were leaving, there was a very disgruntled person. But he sat through the whole movie. But he was like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Like, I think that they just jostled me around a bunch to hide the fact that movie was shitty or something. Like, he was complaining about not only the getting beat up by Aquaman, but I guess also about Aquaman. I don't know what his problem was, but he was very upset.
Had a bad time.
Yes, he had a bad time where I almost creamed myself multiple times in that film.
I've read a lot of reviews where people are like, this is stupid. Like, I was bruised up afterwards, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it's not for you, clearly.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's fair criticism. But I think it has its place. Like, if you know that you're walking into a theme park ride is I think the best way to describe it. Like, that's what it is, like, it's not enhancing the art of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, what if Universal Studios had like, like that, what's that Spider-Man? Do they still have that?
They do. Yeah. They updated the visuals on it recently.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
great.
So there's like that Spider-Man ride at Islands of Adventure. Is it still called that too?
Yeah.
Okay. Where it's like, you're in like a little car that like, you're just watching a screen, like a projector.
Yeah.
And it, like, everything is like happening, but to the car, like that's kind of what 4DX is essentially. Yeah.
Except that when Spider-Man punches Dr. Octopus in the face, you don't feel it in your shoulder or your back.
That's true. Yeah. So 4DX is even more immersive than that.
Exactly.
Okay. Did Aquaman 2 live up to your expectations?
Yeah, because I had no expectations.
There you go.
I mean, like, so, and that's, I don't know what it is, man. Cause like, I didn't really have any expectations for The Flash, and I actually did enjoy The Flash. I don't know, man. I like Aquaman. It's just fucking stupid.
You were happy with it.
This movie knows what it is. It knows it's fucking dumb as shit.
Yeah.
And it leans into quite possibly the dumbest fucking comic book hero to have ever existed.
Yeah.
Like, even when the movie first opens, like Arthur is like, yeah, I talk to fish and I get fucking ripped on about that. But you know what? I get to ride a giant fucking seahorse and I don't care. And I get to fight pirates and I don't fucking care. I'm a king.
So it's self-aware.
It's self-aware. Yeah.
I think the first one was a little bit too. And that was another great thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, even like when they were talking to, about him in Justice League, they're like, oh, this guy, what's your superpower? You talk to fish?
Yeah.
Like, no, dude. Like, people also always forget that he lives in underwater, which is like full of pressure, and he's swimming constantly. The dude's body is fit as fuck, and his trident is one of the only things that can like pierce Superman's skin.
Yeah,
he's actually a fucking badass. But I also had the misconception that Aquaman's a fucking lame ass person. Haley hated him, and then we played Injustice, and that was the only character that jived with her. And she's like, "Actually, no, Aquaman fucking rules."
I can't believe Injustice was what turned her on.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was the thing that, or 2, whatever, is the thing that turned me around on Captain America.
But that's a great game, though.
Yeah, I know, but like I always thought Captain America was fucking lame as shit. Like, America, whatever.
Oh,
and I played that game and used him ironically. I was like, oh no, Captain America fucking rules.
Okay, similarly though. First Avenger turned me around on Captain America.
First Avenger was fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's my favorite Avenger now because
I was so
of Chris
hyped.
Evans' character.
Yeah, I know. I was so fucking hype about that movie, and I walked out of the theater and be like, yeah, Captain America is the shit.
Yeah.
He's so cool. Yeah. Sorry. Anyways,
yeah.
I had no expectations for this film. I was like, is Black Manta going to be in it? Is he going to fight people? Yes and yes. Cool. That's all I needed.
You're set. Is it, to you, was it a better film than the original, or was it at least a serviceable sequel?
It was a serviceable sequel. I don't think it was better because they made a lot of decisions in the first film that I don't think a lot of superhero movies do often.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of gave it charm. Like, the movie was kind of crazy. It was the Odd Couple. Oh, I mean, I guess both movies are kind of Odd Couple movies. But anyways, you got crazy shit like the final sequence where there's sharks with lasers on their heads fighting against crab people.
In the first one, right?
In the first one. And there's like a Kraken, and Mira and Aquaman fucking make out in the middle of a battlefield.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane. But also, the villains don't die in the film. Like Black Manta doesn't die. He comes back. Orm is given a chance to pay penance for his crimes,
kind of
rather than
himself,
just like get killed. So that left open for this movie to have arguably the best character, come back. Like I didn't think anything of Patrick Wilson's Orm. It's just like, oh, it's Patrick Wilson. Like I can't not see the man as Night Owl from fucking Watchmen. So,
oh wow.
Me and Haley don't know his name.
To me,
I call him Night
he's
Owl.
the Conjuring guy,
Yeah,
which
he
is so funny.
Yeah, he is. But like, he's the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
Because they basically do with him like what they did with Thor. He's never been outside of the ocean.
Yeah.
All he knows is the ocean. So like, Arthur's constantly talking like, you've never had a cheeseburger? Like, you haven't had this, you haven't had that. And he's just like, he learns how to run for the first time. Like, he's running like a Naruto person.
I was gonna say, is that what you're wearing a Naruto shirt, by the way?
I am. That's true. But when he first starts running, he's running like a Naruto person, and Arthur's like, "The fuck are you doing? You got to use your arms and legs." And he starts doing that, and he's like fast as fuck. Like he just starts blitzing. Just like little things like that. Like Arthur gets him to eat a cockroach. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is the shrimp of the land," and he eats it, and that's where that comment comes from. But like,
I figured it was a tie into something.
They do a bunch of like little gags and stuff with him, and like really deconstruct the character, and I loved it. That was like honestly one of the best parts of the movie was Patrick Wilson playing Orm.
Yeah,
and I've read reviews on the film of them saying like, yeah, the buddy cop duo of Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson is the heart and charm of this film. It's a shame that it takes too long to get to that point, which I don't agree, but maybe it's because like I was so,
you were there for everything else.
Concussed by me personally, yes, it was there for everything.
You were being jostled by the 40X
but
hydraulic seats.
The seats were like beating the dog shit out of me. Maybe I just, it felt like it was going by a lot faster. But yeah, I enjoyed everything about this. The action was great. The visuals were great. I love Atlantis. I love the underwater thing. I love seeing all the interesting creatures that they come up with. I liked the relationship between Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. Mm-hmm. I love Black Manta. Mr. Abdul-Mateen II is fucking fantastic. And it is can I do spoilers?
Please. Yeah. It
is a fucking shame that they killed him off.
Oh no, they killed Black Manta.
So this is what happens. At the very end, the final fight, Black Manta. The final fight for this actually should have been how the final fight for Black Panther 2 was. It was kind of CGI, but instead of it being ridiculous, it was rooted. James Wan did this awesome like panning like circling motion of the camera around Aquaman and Black Manta as they're just fucking like they're constantly like parrying each other's attacks with these tridents and getting itty bitty little hits here and there and whatnot. And it was really cool. It was like really engaging, almost like the final fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, where they're stuck in that one control room and it's like tight quarters, so every swing could be a kill, and they're just like parrying and swinging past each other and whatnot. It was really neat, but Aquaman gets the trident away from Black Manta. Black Manta throws it at Amber Heard and the baby because he almost. I wanted so badly.
I know you did.
For him to kill Amber Heard and the baby because it is so funny in the comic books. He's so petty and so shitty. But unfortunately, Orm catches it.
I knew DC wasn't going to let that happen.
No, there's no way. It's too feels good of a movie for them to go that dark.
Exactly.
But Orm catches it, and the power that it was giving Black Manta then goes to him. And so they have this funny little gag where Black Manta is like, okay, I can still fight. He takes his helmet off and he runs to go punch Aquaman, but all of his strength is now human strength and he's not wearing a power suit. So Aquaman just catches it real quick and like squeezes his hand and, puts him down. Easy, right?
Yeah.
So more stuff happens and the big bad is defeated and the world around them is now crumbling. And unfortunately, James Wan's a bit of a hack. He doesn't trust his audience. They have Patrick Wilson say, the magic is fading. Like, obviously it's fading. Everything's falling apart. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, don't You don't have to fucking say it.
It's a comic book movie. They got to spell things out for
so
mom and dad
stupid.
in the room that are barely paying attention to the film. You know?
Well, anyways, Black Manta, it falls down a crevice and Aquaman tries to save him. He reaches out his hand in good faith.
Yeah.
Something that he did not do for Black Manta's father. Because remember, he cruelly leaves him behind. So
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
And Black Manta looks at him and goes, "Not even once." And let's go.
Yeah.
Or never. I would never.
Yeah.
And let's go. And falls into a chasm.
Because he's very spiteful.
Yeah. He fucking hates him. And like that's the coolest thing about him is he just fucking hates
He's
Aquaman.
just fueled by spite.
Yeah. he does like global warming just to fuck with Aquaman.
And the Atlanteans in general, right?
Yeah. But specifically Aquaman.
Yeah.
I love him so much. But yeah, he falls down a crevice and he's assumed to have died.
Yeah.
And what's really a missed moment, Jared. The movie resolves with Arthur revealing the Atlanteans to the people, going against like the council and doing a press conference. And when
he does the Tony Stark thing.
Yes, he does. He does the Tony Stark thing. But anyways, before he does that, I'm like, oh my God, he's doing a press conference. They're going to fucking do it. They're going to have Black Manta's going to show up with a bunch of goons and go, "Hey, Arthur, how's the wife and kids?" And that's how they're going to hard cut it. And that's going to be for the third one, which I know they're not going to do.
No.
But unfortunately, they don't do that. And Aquaman goes like, "I'm Aquaman, bitch." Like he grabs the microphone and goes, "I'm Aquaman, bitch." And then
really?
Well, I just say bitch, but he says, I'm Aquaman, and does like the Nixon two fingers thing, and that's how it cuts. Yeah, just like how they did Iron Man.
That's crazy.
I know. What a weird reference, right?
Yeah, why rip that off? Also, like, that was one of the very unique things about the Iron Man movie is because he doesn't do that in the comics.
Yeah.
Like, in the comics, it's like, Iron Man is my protector, he's my bodyguard, you know.
Yeah.
But no, in the movie they bucket and just sort of like, you know what, let's not make him like secret identity guy, let's make him like, I'm a billionaire philanthropist playboy, like I might as well just admit that I'm a superhero too, you know, kind of thing. And that was like kind of like, oh, they're actually like doing something interesting with Iron Man in the movie. But I digress. That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild, isn't it?
It is sad that like that's. And I guess it's because when they were making this, they didn't know it was going to be the send-off to the DCU.
Yeah.
And if they had known, maybe they would have done a little more.
I think they killed off Black Manta purely because they knew that this is the last Snyderverse thing. Because...
I mean, he's got other villains, right?
No. I mean, no, he does. Okay. He does. But Ocean Master and Black Manta are like the two big ones.
Right.
And I mean, like King Shark, maybe sometimes. I don't know. But... Yeah, like you killed off one, and the other one is his buddy now. So like he's got nothing,
right?
But the whole thing of the new DCEU is I almost positive they're keeping Jason Momoa. He's the only person who kept his job.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that actually.
Yeah, he's the only person that.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I know, but like, great, what are they gonna do, right? Because like the whole Flash thing was supposed to he fucked up the timeline, and now everybody is been replaced, right? So. Maybe they don't have a replacement for Black Manta, or they don't know what they're going to do with the next Aquaman film. But I will be here so long as Black Manta comes back. And if they get Mr. Abdeen to reprise his role, Abdul-Mateen II to reprise his role, I would be even more happy about that because he's fucking great.
Yeah. I was rolling my eyes very hard when you were going over the implications of the Flash movie on DCU because I just can't care, and obviously neither could anybody else.
It's true.
I hear the mid and post credit sequences were of note. Would you like to spoil them?
I didn't see
Wait, you just left? You didn't stay?
Yeah, I didn't know. It was also 11:40, and we had a babysitter.
True. I was just going to read it.
Oh yeah, read it. Instead. Yeah, I'll watch it later.
During their travels together, Aquaman tells Orm all about the wonders of the surface world, like beer, greasy burgers, and, as a joke, cockroaches.
Yes.
He makes Orm sample a cockroach, and to his surprise, Orm likes it. In the mid-credits scene, Orm sits at a restaurant, orders a burger, and adds a crunch cockroach to it. And with that, the DCEU comes to a close.
That's it? That's all that was?
Apparently, that's it. So... I'll call back to earlier. You said that Momoa is the only person like that's going to stay in the DCU movies.
Supposedly, they were going to have the chick who plays Wonder Woman as well, but
she makes sense too. Yeah,
1984 was really bad.
That's not her fault.
No, it's not.
Honestly, I thought 1984's negative like response was kind of overblown because I thought it was fine. It wasn't as good as the first one, obviously, but it's fine.
I did not care for it.
Okay. So Momoa had this to say about reprising his role in the DC universe. I'll always be Aquaman. Ain't anyone coming in there and talking shit. There might be some other characters too. I can play other things too. I can be funny and savage and charming. So I guess that he's almost admitting that he might not be Aquaman again, but he'll be somebody.
Yeah, there was talk of him not like just being somebody else in the thing. But
so there's rumors that he might be Lobo, which he kind of looks like.
He looks like Lobo, and he probably should be Lobo.
Lobo's cool as shit. I would love Lobo in these.
Yeah.
If they did like a fun one where like Superman has to fight Lobo, that would be pretty neat.
Well, you know what's wild? Haley pointed this out to me, but in certain shots, Patrick Wilson actually looks like our current Aquaman, like with the blonde hair, swept to the side. Whatnot. He could actually play him. So, and I would be totally okay with that because he's a pretty good actor. He's a pretty good, B-list actor.
Yeah. Apparently, Momoa was like, I'm not in my peak shape anymore, so I don't know if I should keep being Aquaman for another 10 years. I'm like, okay, dude, you're still like incredibly fucking handsome.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. With the DC films resetting.
Yes.
And James Gunn, I guess, being the Kevin Feige of the DCU, if you will, to use comparisons, but that's essentially what they're going for, obviously. What would your ideal pairing be for the next Aquaman movie? Like, what director and what star? Do you have anything in mind?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Something that I haven't really given any thought to. Let's see. Who would I be the director? Honestly, it's kind of hard because there's only like certain directors that are given the leeway to have their style be put into the films for these types of movies. Like, the fact that James Gunn was given almost free reign for Suicide Squad is like a stark contrast to David Ayer not getting any kind of reign on Suicide Squad. And
it's weird that keeps happening to him, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's are you trying to say that Ayer's actually just a hack?
Yeah.
No, fuck you. No, he's not. Training Day is amazing. Fury, amazing. Fuck you.
He only wrote Training Day, though.
Shut up. I don't care. I'm trying to think.
He made 2 follow-ups to it, too, and that are so bad.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're set in the same universe, too.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I guess what I was going to say is I can't see anybody other than James Wan directing and Jason Momoa being, because it's such a good duo. Aquaman defies the justice or the old DC I don't know, expectations. Like, it's fun. It's looks
they're allowed to be
vibrant.
A little goofy in a sense.
Exactly. It's from what I can tell, they're the only successful movies out of those,
Wonder Woman 1.
Oh, Wonder Woman 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
I forget
that.
Wonder Woman
Really
1. That was really good.
It made gangbusters.
It was good.
It was a huge deal.
I really enjoyed that
but
movie.
we don't think about it because 1984 soured that so much.
It's true. But if I wanted like a more serious Aquaman, and I wanted like him to look like the traditional Aquaman, I could see Patrick Wilson being Aquaman. I can't think of any other like good looking blonde guy that can fit that musculature. Actually, like, give me Chris Evans. I want Chris Evans to be Aquaman.
He's been in enough superhero movies.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He needs to do his own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, and then as far as like directors go, give me the Denis Villeneuve.
I knew you were going to go there.
Aquaman. Dude, give me that.
I don't know that he would do that.
I'm just fucking kidding.
He's only working in Dune.
Yeah.
Not because it's like a big franchise or anything, but because he loves those books so much.
Right,
and it was
right,
like his dream project to be able to do this.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, fuck Aquaman. I want a Black Manta movie.
There you go.
Give me
there
Black
you go.
Manta.
Yeah.
Because like it would be so fun to see a guy like be driven by vengeance, and he gets all the way to the end of the movie, and he's supposed to like learn a lesson about like not having revenge, and he doesn't fucking care, and he goes for revenge anyways. I would love that. I'd love that. I want to explore the anger of a black autistic man against a fish dude. I want it so bad. Who did the raid? I want that director.
Gareth Evans.
Not Gareth Edwards. Gareth Evans, I believe, is the person.
Yeah,
Yes.
it might be I always get them mixed up, and we did a whole thing on this.
We did. Give me that guy.
I think it's Evans because I think Edwards is
the
creator.
other guy, yes.
Okay,
give me that guy as the director, and give me Patrick. Give me the guy who played Black Manta.
Yeah.
Right. And have it be an hour and 45 minutes of him breaking into Atlantis and killing multitudes of Atlanteans just to get to Aquaman.
It's the raid, but it's Atlantis. So he breaks into this giant building in Atlantis,
Yes.
and just works his way up each floor, killing Atlanteans with hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yes. I want that so bad. Because he's got those little daggers. He's just like, oh man, oh my god, I would fucking kill for that. I love Black Manta so much. He's so fucking petty. I love it. Love it. He does a global warming. He does a global warming in the movie.
How is he trying to accelerate in the film exactly?
So he gets his hand on this stuff called orichalcum, which whatchamacallit? That's like
unobtainium.
No. Orichalcum is
it's a real thing.
Is an actual substance that other like sci-fi properties use.
Oh, okay.
Like it's
so is unobtainium actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's in other things than Avatar. Yeah.
What? I didn't know. Anyways, but he gets this substance on recommendation from basically this. Okay, so they pull a D&D. He touches that black staff, and it's essentially a magical weapon that has a spirit inside of it, and it whispers sweet nothings in his ear to, have him like do a thing, right? So it promises him power and the ability to get vengeance on Aquaman, but he has to do it by getting this orichalcum, putting it into a furnace, and burning it into the atmosphere to speed up the process of global warming, to melt the polar ice caps so that he can get the trident to the previous owner, who's this guy named Kordax. He was like the brother of Atlantis, the king of the ocean, and he was essentially a necromancer.
Okay,
he was played by Euron Greyjoy, the guy who played Euron Greyjoy in Game of Thrones, who is also like a seafaring.
Of course, there's another Game of Thrones guy.
He's in it for like 2 seconds, and I was just like, oh hey, there's that guy. I like that guy.
I completely missed Game of Thrones. And
I know you did.
I know so many people came out of that because there's like a million characters.
Yeah.
And every time somebody's like, oh, this person from Game of Thrones. And I'm like, no, I fucking don't. Because John Wick 1 had a lot of like Game of Thrones people. And I remember everyone saying that. And I'm like, I don't care. Keanu's in this.
Yeah. It had Theon Greyjoy in
yeah.
But yeah, I just want to see Black Manta kill people. That's all I want. I want to see...
He's a simple man, folks.
Good choreography with a guy that's just stabbing fish people.
He's a simple man. That's all he wants.
I am a simple man. Trying to make my way in this universe.
Do you have anything you want to extrapolate on, or anything you left out that you wanted to talk about?
I wish this movie was a little bit darker. I really wish, there's a part where Tamora Morrison gets stabbed by Black Manta, and he's like, I'm not going to kill you now. I'm going to leave you on death's door so that your son can watch you die. Because he's trying to like do what he did to, or what Aquaman did to his dad, right?
Right.
But they don't kill him off. He stays alive, which is like really disappointing because like I feel like the movie's fun enough. They should have some sort of dark shit in there. They didn't kill Mira off. I wish they did because I want, hey, Arthur, how's the wife and kids?
I'm shocked they didn't
I'm
at
actually
least kill off Amber Heard just for the cleanliness of like, we never have to deal with her again.
Yeah.
Because there was so much rumors that they were going to recast her or cut her entirely, because of all the drama about the trial.
She gets fucked up, but she doesn't die, which is unfortunate.
Right.
And then
I wonder if they were like really thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah. And like, I know this is really dark and I know this would never see the light of day, this cut, but I really wish that they would have like killed off the baby too.
Oh my god!
Kill the wife and kid. Do it.
But and you were just saying you like how these are kind of the lighter movies of the DC movies.
I do. That's what I'm saying. Is like I want it purely for the scene that I'm never gonna get on film, which is, "Hey Arthur, how's the wife and kids?"
Yeah,
I'm never gonna see that. Like that meme has persisted between me and my buddy John Lennon's friendship, because every so often, like, we haven't seen each other for a while, and he goes, "Hey, how's the wife and kids?" Because he loves Black Manta too, for the same fucking reason. So like I want to live in a world where I can, I get the urge, I have to see it, I need a good chuckle in my life.
Yeah.
So I put on Aquaman 2 and I see Black Manta say, "Hey, how's the wife and kids?" And it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But at least kill off Mira or Tamora Morrison. I love Tamora Morrison. I think he's fucking great. Like he's He's Jango Fett in my book, baby.
Oh,
But that it did not happen.
Well, at least from the Snyderverse, we have, Martha. Why do you know that name?
Why do you know that name? It's fucking stupid. And then there was they did actually, it's funny, in the same breath as Rebel Moon doing the cantina scene, we actually get Jabba's palace in this movie. They go to a place in the ocean that is built by a bunch of sunken ships.
Yeah.
It's called like the sunken kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a fish kingpin who's laying on a bed with 3 fish ladies, and he's huge, and he's a gangster, and we get a cute little scene where Aquaman and his brother had to fight against 3 street sharks to get information out of this guy, and it's just Jabba's palace. They even have like a band, with a weird alien lady singing, except it's a snail person.
That was some of the best stuff of the first movie, is when they're just like, hey, it's not just what we think of as like real world underwater stuff. It's actually like, it's fucking Star Wars down here. It's weird as shit, you know?
Yeah. And they kept doing it, and it was great. I loved that whole sequence was fantastic. Like there's a lot about this movie that I fucking love, and very little about the movie that I did not love.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm biased because I like Aquaman.
That's okay.
You put Black Manta on the screen, I get my Jimmy's.
You get half-mast already.
Yeah, dude. I cannot believe in the middle of I'm like, oh my god, this fucking rules. I'm like audibly like, oh my god, this is the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. While I'm getting assaulted, my back is getting absolutely blown the fuck out by Aquaman and Black Manta. I got triple teamed by them, baby. I was airtight.
I'm so glad you did 40X for this, and I'm so glad it lived up.
Yeah, it was great.
We will absolutely. I don't know that Dune 2 is a good fit for it, just because like that is actually a headier movie,
right? Yeah,
and it might be more distracting than anything. Yeah. Also, there is so much lore that I don't even know. Yeah, because like what I know about Dune, I know from the first movie, the new movie, I should say. Because I couldn't handle the info dump in the books. I tried listening to the first one and just couldn't do it. Yeah. I just don't know if that's the right call, but we will be on the lookout for our 40X movie that we'll do together.
Oh yes, it's probably going to be Godzilla X Kong.
That's actually that actually might be the most decent one to do. Yeah,
because I regret not seeing King of Monsters in 40X. I didn't know it existed.
Forever be a great regret. Yeah,
I actually went over what you told me to Haley about King of the Monsters. Like, Mothra had a smell.
Yeah,
I've
heard this. I've heard that each monster had their own scent.
God damn it.
I'm so mad we'll never know. What were the scents like in this? I didn't even ask.
The orichalcum is the only thing that had scents. Oh, and it was like a kind of a sweet baby powder kind of smell, but that was about it.
Okay. For Avatar, they did a lot for like all the floral stuff. Yeah. Which, man. So they really went overboard on that one. And Avatar, obviously, they knew was going to make $1 billion. Yeah. So they like probably did a lot more for it too. They're like, we'll package all these different scents and stuff. Yeah.
In this movie, they do go to like a tropical paradise where they could have pumped those smells in, but if it happened, I didn't smell it.
Right. Was there any like mist or fog?
No, 100%.
Oh, great. Yeah. There's a lot of fog in Avatar, the movie, and they did a lot in the theater with us too.
We got fog, smoke. Fog, snow.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen snow.
Yeah, we got snow. We got mist. Obviously, I got blasted in the face with fucking water.
Yeah. It's a good time. Again, to reiterate the Avatar episode, there's constant splashing in Way of the Water. It was a big surprise. And every time I got hit, I would giggle. All right, well,
that was Aquaman. About it. I would absolutely recommend you see it if you like Aquaman and or Black Manta. Yeah. I would absolutely suggest you see it in 40X because it was...
If it's convenient for you, have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time. But if none of that sounds like fun to you, don't. It's missable.
We're not going to sell you on it if you're not already game.
It'll be streaming on HBO Max in like a couple months, and if it's that point, then I would absolutely watch it if you're already paying for the fucking streaming service. Yeah. But I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Well, so long, Snyderverse.
Yeah, fucking good riddance.
Honestly. In general, we got a couple of good movies out of it, though. Well, folks, thank you for listening to Debaser. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on your podcast app and follow us on social media by searching for @DebaserPod. We also have a YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to. We are looking to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so please check us out on YouTube. I've been Jared Rusk, and my lovely co-host has been Will Taylor. Will, where can people find you, and do you have anything to plug?
Pocket_infinity on Instagram, as always. I'll plug this specific episode. Listen to this episode again, because I talk a lot about some of my favorite things, which is a Black and Manta. That's about it.
Hell yeah. Well, that's a wrap, everybody. Good night. Debaser is hosted and produced by Will Taylor and Jared Rusk. Want to email the show? Send it to podcast@debaserpod.com. Want to help us out? Please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice, especially Apple Podcast. If you write a 5-star review of Debaser on Apple Podcast, I may read your review in a future episode. Thank you for listening, and take care out there.